like the idea of good things in sensibly sized packages. Perhaps that's why Audi's A3 has been so successful here, a compact car that goes large on quality, refinement and maturity. Especially in this improved third generation guise, where it's more sophisticated and efficient than ever before. Which is just as well, given that there are other Volkswagen Group products using many of the same ingredients, and plenty of tempting high-profile segment rivals. In other words, this enhanced Mark III model will have to work harder than ever to win sales. Fortunately for Audi, it seems well up to the task.
Audi has significantly improved the TFSI petrol engine lineup with this revised third-generation A3 model, adding in a 115 PS 3-cylinder 1-litre unit at the foot of the range and a much improved 2-litre 190 PS power plant at the top of it. In between these two options, the clever 1.4-litre cylinder-on-demand derivative that can work with either 2 or 4 cylinders, depending on throttle load, is carried over from before, but it's had its output boosted by 10 PS to 150 PS. It's also worth mentioning that all these petrol engines can now work with the freshly developed 7-speed S-tronic auto gearbox that's available as an option. Further up the petrol range, the hot hatch S3 variant also uses the new 2-litre TFSI engine, but in uprated 310 PS form, mating it to a revised Quattro four-wheel drive system that's now quicker reacting and delivers a more enthusiast-orientated rear-driven bias. Most A3 buyers, though, will continue to want a diesel, possibly the 110 PS 1.6-litre unit, but more probably the 150 PS 2-litre TDI power plant that we're trying here. These engines have been upgraded to Euro 6 status, but otherwise they've been carried over from the original model lineup. Go for the 2-litre option and you can add in Quattro four-wheel drive, and that's something that you have to have if you opt for this power plant in its top 184 PS state of tune. As for handling, well, the light, stiff MQB chassis continues to make this car feel quite agile, and you can vary its handling responses if you get yourself an example fitted with the Audi Drive Select vehicle dynamic system. Ultimately, though, the key attributes of mainstream A3 models lie in their supple standards of ride and exemplary refinement. As a result, this A3 retains a continuing ability to bring a luxury segment-style driving experience to a sector that's based around more affordably priced compact models. Sophisticated styling doesn't really date very much, and the look of this third-generation A3 really hasn't. Whether you choose the 3-door version or this 5-door Sportback body style, there's the same conservative but classy feel with jewel-like finishing and razor-sharp shut lines. Well, the changes made to this revised model are primarily focused on the front end, where the familiar single-frame grille is now wider, more sharply contoured. The headlamps that flank it are flatter and more distinctive than before, with more modern xenon lighting replacing the old halogen units. Time to take a seat inside, and the cabin quality you'll find there really sets this car apart at its price point, with a really premium feeling of quality and class. The defining feature of the dash remains these 4 air vents, styled to look like miniature jet engines and made up of no fewer than 30 parts, including bright metal outer rings that are shaped for perfect grip. The 2 central vents sit above a smarter panel of ventilation controls, now has a piano black finish, plus there's a restyled 3-spoke leather-trimmed steering wheel. It's what you can view through this, though, that probably represents the greatest change in this environment. And we're referring to a feature that's been fitted here, the optional Audi Virtual Cockpit. It's a pity you have to pay extra for it, but if you can, you'll get yourself a real cabin talking point. The setup replacing the entire instrument binnacle with a 12.3-inch colour TFT screen that's fully digital and customisable, with smart 3D graphics and highly detailed effects. Anything this setup can't tell you will almost certainly be covered by the slimline MMI infotainment display that glides out from the top of the dashboard to deal with audio, informational and phone-orientated functions that you can prompt via this chrome-edged rotary controller in front of the gear stick. The retracting screen is now 7 inches in size across the range, and it now works as standard with the useful Audi smartphone interface that, through Apple CarPlay and Android Auto smartphone connectivity, allows everything that you access on your handset to be duplicated onto this slide-out monitor. So let's take a seat in the back. Now, if you're going to be regularly using the rear compartment in your A3, you really need to have opted for this sportback body style, not only because of its 2 extra doors, but also because this variant sits on a wheelbase that's 35mm longer than the 3-door. Finally, let's have a look at the boot. 365 litres in size in the 3-door model, and 380 litres if you go for this slightly lengthier sportback variant. In the search for a compact car that's also a premium purchase, there are probably more charismatic choices than this Audi A3, but we think there are a few better ones. By pioneering the premium compact hatch segment with original versions of this model, Audi has in many ways redefined the meaning of automotive luxury, democratising it without the desirability being diluted. Other brands claim to have done the same, of course, and many have used a few more visual or dynamic fireworks to grab the attention. Ingolstadt, though, doesn't think this A3 needs them, and legions of loyal global buyers seem to agree. Cool, classless and clever, it remains desirably definitive.